also missed out, and together they form the core of experience in a truly green machine. But the good news today, after a loss last week to the struggling Newcastle, is the return of wing sensation Noah Nadruku. Only his first year in the league, and he's the competition's leading try scorer. The Illawarra Steelers are a much better team than their 12 points indicate. They're the best defenders in the league, allowing only 10 points in their last 3 games.
The test series, it was going to count. And with 2 games that we just didn't have that many players. We could have lost as many as 10 had Belcher and Stewart been playing and selected. We would have basically been playing a reserve grade outfit.
So it's a tough campaign for the Raiders, and here they come. A new look lineup. They lost last week to Newcastle without 8 internationals. Can they go a little better today with Nadruku back in the side? He played for Fiji against Papua New Guinea last week. Gary Belcher is the fullback. Noah Nadruku on the wing. David Boyle and Brett Mullins in the centres. Ken Nagus on the other wing. Jason Croker moves to 5'8" for this match. Ricky Stewart is the captain at halfback. The lock forward is Steve Stone. Really is a shake-up in the forwards. Mark Lowry and David Furner in the second row. Brett Hetherington, Jason Deeth and Paul Osborne the front rowers. And there is Noah Nadruku back in the lineup. He's a personality player. He must draw some 5,000 extra people through the gate. But last week he wasn't, well, his team, Fiji, weren't good enough to defeat Papua New Guinea. PNG the winners. John Cross has the Illawarra captaincy. And behind him is the experienced halfback John Simon. It should be a great battle between Simon and Ricky Stewart. Man on man in the halfback roles. At fullback is David Riolo. Rod Wishart on the wing. Brett Rodwell and Paul McGregor, a great centre pair. Alan McIndoe the other winger. Dale Fritz at 5'8". John Simon at halfback. Ian Russell in at lock forward. Neil Pinchinelli and John Cross in the second row. Bob Lindner, of course, out of the Illawarra side. David Walsh in the front row with Dean Skiffaliddi and Brett Goldspink. And down on the sideline, Jacko, how are the conditions?
Well, luckily, Warren, it's not too chilly yet, but I can see that changing about 4:30, unfortunately. The ground's in perfect condition. A lot's been said about the players missing from the Canberra Raiders side, but they still boast Belcher, Nadruku, Mullins and Ricky Stewart, 4 outstanding players, and I can see those 4 leading the Canberra Raiders home this afternoon. To stop the Steelers, they have to stop the Spaghetti brothers of Pinchinelli and Skiffaliddi.
Referee for the match is Eddie Ward, looking into the sun, which is already getting fairly low. I don't suppose it ever got very high. We're in the middle of winter.
I'm going against Peter Jackson. I'm going for an Illawarra's victory here this afternoon. I was only 28 points off last week's Parramatta victory against North Sydney Bears.
And here's Ian Russell bringing it back for the first touch. And of course, Peter, you played with Canberra in 87 and 88, and some of these younger players who are filling the gaps today, were they around then?
Well, they weren't. Just looking through the Canberra team, when I left, Gary Belcher and Ricky Stewart are the only 2 guys I can recognise from when I was here, so it certainly is a different side. But, you know, some of these young players like David Furner and Jason Croker have shown this year that they've also got plenty of talent.
And Skiffaliddi back in the first grade lineup for Illawarra after being dropped a couple of weeks ago. He's in a dummy half as Russell plays it back. John Simon gets his kick away, deep down towards Belcher. And Nadruku is playing on the right wing, so there has been a switch. Tim Sheens said that he may move Nadruku from his usual left wing across to the right wing, and he's done just that, so we won't see the man-to-man clash between Wishart and Nadruku, but it's Alan McIndoe versus Nadruku, 2 speedsters.
It's been a long time since we've had a real crowd pleaser on the wing. Probably go back as far as Larry Kyra, the great Balmain winger.
Well, of course, Johnny Ferguson, not too long ago either.
Oh, yeah, well, he's a great replacement down here for these guys.
Here's Stewart, a lot on his shoulders today. He really is the controlling force in the Canberra side. A good kick down to Riolo. If we talk about some of the matchups, we mentioned the halfbacks up against each other, but in the centres, we've got Mullins versus Rodwell and McGregor, Belcher versus Riolo at fullback, and of course, well, Nadruku versus Wishart and McIndoe. So some great matchups, particularly in the back line. But of course, it all goes back to the forwards in most games. Who's going to get on top? And Illawarra certainly have the more recognisable forward pack. Here's Skiffaliddi, 10 short of halfway. Simon gets into dummy half. Gets it out to Walsh. Hit in a good solid tackle by Furner going low. Last tackle coming up now. Simon with the ball, but the penalty goes to Illawarra.
Ricky Stewart never onside there. The second marker, he was away before the ball was cleared the ruck. It's a good decision there by Eddie Ward, and it's a very costly one for the Canberra Raiders. As we see here, Ricky Stewart never lining behind the first marker, and a costly one on the fifth tackle.
You must have taught him that, Benny, eh? That's one of your great tricks.
But he's not going to admit to it.
Could be some trouble for the Canberra Raiders. Brett Mullins seems to be limping after one tackle, which would be a terrible blow to lose a player of his experience this early. He seems to be okay now.
Good burst by Brett Goldspink from the tap. Now Pinchinelli, Fritz. Goldspink in the team for Steve Waddell, who was suspended this week. So the big front rower is out, but Goldspink gets his chance. Simon works it wide to Riolo. Looked inside for a moment, but Mullins made the tackle. They're 20 metres out, the Steelers. Wishart. Simon. Russell. And Russell starting to get back to his best after having to overcome a very bad hamstring strain. Missed much of the early part of the season. Fritz standing wide, gets inside a tackle. Fritz beats another. Pass inside was forward to Skippoliti. A try goes begging. Great football by Dale Fritz, and he beat Jason Croker. First up, he stepped inside him, and just that ankle tackle from behind, I think it was Ferner got there.
Very unlucky there for the Steelers. I think that was a line ball, that.
Now this is Croker, and he takes on Fritz. Interesting selection, Jason Croker, who was picked in the New South Wales Origin team in the squad this year. And he is usually in the forwards this season, that block forward until Bradley Clyde's come back, but today picked at 5'8" to mark Fritz. And that's given Steve Stone at lock forward the job of holding Ian Russell when they go head-to-head. Stewart kicking to the far wing. Riolo's the only one back there, and he makes good ground to get to it on the full. It's 2 against 2, and David Boyle makes the tackle. If we take a look at the for and against from these two teams, we'll see that Canberra have the second best attacking record in the competition. They've scored 273 points. Illawarra have the best defensive record. They've conceded just 108, and that's 2 points better in defence than St George. So they're just ahead of the Dragons, and Canberra in attack are just behind Canterbury.
Dean Skippoliti finding a lot of gaps up early in the middle, up the whole of the oval.
Here's Russell, fires the pass to McGregor. He can't take it. It was up above his head, and Belcher's got it.
I think when we look at the attacking record of Illawarra, that mistake probably sums up the reason they haven't been able to put points on the board this season. They've just been lacking a bit of ball control. Of course, they've got tremendous strike power out with Wishart, Rodwell and McGregor, but their ball control's let them down.
Now Paul Osborne carts it forward for Canberra. And the penalty goes to the Raiders. And again, is it up inside the 5 metres? Is it 10 metres as he comes back?
No, it was.
I think it was a player laying in the ruck, but he hasn't given the penalty at the ruck, so perhaps you're right, Warren.
Yeah, it looked as if the penalty was for one of those 3 octopuses all over the top, but then he came back 10 metres.
Maybe in a bit of back chat, Warren, you never know.
Possibly. Let's have a look at the results in the earlier games. In the under-21s, a win to Illawarra, 14-6. And in reserve grade, a good win to Canberra, 34-16. Good work by the reserve grade, considering that half of them are in first grade today. Good hit up from the tap by Osborne. 35 metres out.
Come on.
Hetherington wanted to go into dummy half, but Belcher got up there instead. Now Nadruku. And solid tackle from Cross and Pinchinelli. And taking up now Mark Lowry. 30 metres out. Russ on the blind side is Stewart. Ferner trying to step back inside. Illawarra's defence was marking up well on that blind side. Now the last tackle, Stewart puts it very high. Mullins is coming through on Wishart. Goes high, Mullins knocks it back. Across there to pick up as Croker. They've got to keep it alive. Knocked backwards by Hetherington. Now Stewart will have another go. 2 bombs for the price of 1. More pressure for Riolo. They're pouring through. Takes it beautifully. Pummeled back into his in-goal area. But that's great work by David Riolo nevertheless. And equally good attack by Canberra.
Yeah, great football here by Ricky Stewart. His second bomb, always on pinpoint accuracy. Putting plenty of pressure on the fullback Riolo. Good Great defence there, and putting him back in for a line drop out, which is going to put more pressure on the Illawarra Steelers.
Brett Mullins came over the top of Riolo to drive him back behind the line. Now Furner, David Furner, who really has become an established part of the Canberra first grade lineup. Also the goal kicker and leading point scorer for the first grade. Osborne getting the inside pass from Lowry. Another chance here for Canberra. They're 32 metres out, still 4 tackles to go. Stewart starts, goes wide now. Croker can't bust the line. Boyle goes into dummy half. Stewart dumming on the inside. Outside he goes to Nagus. Ken Nagus from Kyogle originally in northern New South Wales, but did come up through the juniors for Canberra. Stewart with a little chip through. It's a beauty. Riolo comes to it well. Great work by Riolo.
David Riolo once again showing tremendous courage, as we saw last week against Canterbury, where he was actually knocked out taking a bomb. Here he goes, little chip by Ricky, a great left foot chip. Just needed the bounce, and he got it, Riolo. Great work.
Ian Russell gets a pass that's looked as if it could have been a little forward. And out to Rodwell. Another penalty goes towards Illawarra's way. More interference in the tackle. And so Illawarra certainly getting the run of the penalties.
Yet again, we see the Illawarra Steelers making easy yardage up the middle of the ruck.
And you can see it was David Boyle coming in after the tackle had been completed, according to the referee. Boyle was in two minds whether to go in.
Oh, well, he's missed that one.
The goal spink hits it up. Russell. I guess it makes it a little bit harder for the referee to see whether passes in close to the ruck are forward or not when they're 10 metres back. Here's McGregor. McGregor's gone through. He's got support in Rodwell, and here's the first try. The two centres working together beautifully. McGregor making the break. Inside was Rodwell to finish it off. Perfect football. The Canberra defence back on its heels after the penalty and unable to contain McGregor here. He got the pass from Simon. It was a nice ball out to him. And then stepping back inside, Brett Mullins, who didn't make a very good attempt. And Rodwell was there to finish it off. Illawarra lead 4 points to 0.
Yeah, great try there, Warren. Always going to cause the Canberra Raiders a lot of problems. A great centre partner pair. Here we see McGregor off his left foot, then back off his right. Always going to give him trouble. Rodwell there always in great support for a great 4-pointer.
Yeah, beautiful football. Fairly simple, but the missed tackle was crucial here as Mullins got outside McGregor. He just stepped inside him beautifully, and Brett Mullins barely laid a hand on him.
Yeah, no, that was a great try. Opportunist try. I mean, they see a missed tackle, and you know, it's always going to be 4 points. Illawarra have got tremendous ability out wide. They have got, I'd say they have the second best back line compared to the Brisbane Broncos here in the Premiership.
So Brett Rodwell, an Illawarra junior, has played for country origin twice, including this year. Now Rod Wishart has scored 8 tries and kicked 26 goals. He's second highest in the point scoring in the competition. 55% success rate with the boot. Not all that high. And this shot creeps inside. And 2 more points. Illawarra lead by 6 points to 0 after 10 minutes of play.
It's the start the Steelers needed.
Long ball here from John Simon. Gives McGregor a bit of pace. Woeful tackle by Mullins. Ricky couldn't get hold of him either. Rodwell backing up like all good centres should. Great try. Just quickly, a change to the Illawarra Steelers. Ian Russell has been replaced by number 41, Bill Dunn.
Ian Russell, is he in trouble, Jagger?
Well, he's gone into the dressing room, so I don't really know what's wrong with him just yet. He's gone to the blood bin, sorry.
So he should be back then. Here's Illawarra in possession on their own 20. Walsh, he saw Ricky Stewart coming up quickly and virtually stopped trying to change direction. On the blind side, Pinchinelli. Pinchinelli getting involved in a lot of the plays, just one off the ruck. He almost seems to be the link man as much as Simon is. Here's Cross now. Tim Sheens, the Canberra coach, very intent. McGregor. Sheen's saying that his team survived the Origin series because of the split round scheduling, that they got through that pretty well, but the Test series was always what was going to test them. And a fine kick takes play to the Canberra 10-metre line.
It's going to be one of the highlights here this afternoon, Ricky Stewart's kicking game, and also John Simon, who I think's got one just as good. Here we see a beautiful pinpointed kick.
It's that much easier for Ricky Stewart on his home ground, but Simon read the field pretty well there.
Easy way to make 50 yards, Warren.
So Eddie Ward keeping the two front rows apart till he gets the ball there through Stewart. And Stewart feeds as they come together. And now Nadruku. And Ricky Stewart pushes one of them out of his road, which of course he's not allowed to, but the referee isn't going to worry about it. Now putting his head down is Jason Deeth. Canberra just working away on the edge of the ruck as Boyle plays it. Stewart cuts out one to Furner, and Furner's almost away, just taken from behind by Skiffaliti. Now Stewart quickly down the blind side he goes. A kick straight to Riolo. Ricky Stewart was knocked over, and the penalty goes to Canberra within kicking range, and the touch judge is on.
Well, this is stupid play. You can't say anything more than stupid. As soon as he kicks it, it's one thing to do, put him pressure on, but to attack him after he's left the kick, it's just not on.
I think you could probably say Ricky milked that one a little bit. He's another trick that he's probably learnt from you, Benny. How to milk
come on, Jacko.
How to milk a penalty, but yeah, it was silly play, but I think it was probably exaggerated by the way Ricky fell. But doesn't matter now. David Furner's got a reasonably easy attempt at goal, about 22 metres out and about 13 metres in from touch. Shouldn't have too many troubles with this one.
That happened right in front of you. Oh, Jacko, here it is now. Let's have a look. Is it Rodwell who just gives him a little bit of a shoulder? He certainly didn't get out of his road, did he? Oh, he didn't have to.
You don't have to get out of their way.
He did lead with the shoulder a little.
Well, I think it was touch and go. You don't have to get out of their player's way, and Ricky ran straight into him.
And
could have gone either way, but
and the big
fish and chips
dive
now.
So David Furner to attempt the goal. He scored 3 tries and 28 goals, 53% success rate, so pretty much on a par with Rod Wishart. Furner, the 4th highest point scorer in the league. And he hits it solidly, and it's through. Canberra's first points on the board. Illawarra lead 6 points to 2. We've had 15 minutes of play. Furner hitting that one solidly from a similar type of position to the kick that was landed by Wishart.
It really does break a team's back when you give away a penalty on the 5th and last tackle, and seeing a bloke kick like this, it really is disheartening.
And the kick through by Ricky Stewart, which led to the penalty, was going straight to Riolo, was never going to cause any problems.
No, that's right.
So Canberra trailed by 4 points, and Brett Hetherington plays it back. And as the chant goes up from the Raiders fans, and they've turned out in pretty good numbers to support the home team, despite the absence of the stars.
Noah's back, mate.
Exactly. Here's Steve Stone. 9 metres short of halfway. Deep gets it to Stewart. And he drives it away from Riolo this time. Good-looking kick. Riolo gets across to it. Nagus is in front of him and makes the tackle. Good chase from Canberra that time. Wishart goes into the forwards. Furner's got him. Lowry comes to help out. Canberra with 8 wins and 4 losses for the season. Illawarra 6 wins, 6 losses. Out of 21 games since 1982, when the two teams came into the comp, Canberra have won 14, Illawarra 6, and 1 draw.
Ian Russell back from the blood bin line.
Pinchinelli, the dummy, the tackle made by Hetherington on the halfway. Simon. And well positioned is Belcher. Gary Belcher, who would love to be in New Zealand. Good tackle though by Fritz. And he gets the penalty. Fritz didn't get off him quickly enough. Belcher certainly playing for the penalty by wriggling around and struggling as hard as he could. Fritz over the top and didn't release once he had completed the tackle. And the referee just issuing a caution to Jason Croker. Not too sure what it was about, but it can't have been too serious.
I think he just might have had a word to him with suggesting that that penalty was in fact a good penalty. Gary Belcher unlucky to be dropped from the Queensland State of Origin thing, I thought, in early April, and his form's been good since then.
Illawarra are going to pay the penalty if they're going to continue to give away silly penalties. It's Ricky Stewart kicking.
Now Osborne charges forward. They're 20 metres out. And you really feel as if the crowd feel that they're part of this game today, that it's not just up to the 13 players on the field. There's a good pass, comes out to Stewart. Stewart ducks away, still going with Croker. I think it was Ferner who got the offload back to Stewart, and it was a beauty. 18 metres out. Lowry powers forward. Russell, ball and all, wrapped him up and slung him to ground. 15 out in front of the post. Stewart. Osborne. Back to Stewart. The set move. Out to Stone now. Quickly from Belcher. And it goes to the Druku. Can he get over from there? No. Great defence from Riolo.
Great tackle.
Also Pinchinelli across. Back it comes now. Bad pass to Stewart. They've lost 20 metres. Belcher kicks across field. Wishart goes back. Nagus on his heels. Wishart manages to recover the ball.
What a great tackle from David Rioli.
He's saved the day. 10 metres out, and he would have given Nadruku every chance, even though he had two in front of him. It was a set move, and they got the ball where they wanted to. Let's have another look at it. Out it came to Osborne. Back to Stewart.
Like a runaway
Beautiful
truck.
hands here from Belcher.
Beautiful.
And from there, Nadruku heads for the corner. Riolo got there, and Pinchinelli too, but what a tackle from the fullback.
Great head-on tackle.
Once again, David Riolo showing he lacks nothing in the ticket department.
He's not the biggest man around, is he? But no, you're right. A heart as big as Farlap. Now Simon made good ground before he kicked, but Belcher's there. And Belcher was really had drawn in the winger, and Nadruku had gone inside. Stone, Mullins. Can't get away from Rodwell. Well, Canberra look as if they are here to play. The combination looks pretty good at this stage, but they've got the penalty here to help out as well.
Yeah, a very enthusiastic crowd here getting right behind the Canberra Raiders. They cannot continue to give away silly penalties. Ricky Stewart is going to get tremendous yardage from his kicks in the touch and always put pressure on the Illawarra Steelers in the next set of 6.
Brett Rodwell, once again, the guilty party in that penalty, and very surprising. Brett Rodwell, one of the cleanest and most disciplined players in the Winfield Cup. Surprising to see him give away 2 penalties this early in the game.
Canberra fine touch, 23 metres out. Osborne. Taken by Walsh. 15 out. So they're going forward all the time, the Raiders. Now Hetherington crashes over the 10-metre line. Deeth, the dummy half, comes to the blind side. It's Osborne to Stone. Stone is knocked over by Rodwell and Wishart. Deeth, Stewart, the long ball out to Croker. Back inside to Boyle. Again, the defence read it well. Russell took him on the inside. Stewart, Ferner, Croker. Illawarra's defence really being strained here, but they hold on. Last tackle now. Stewart, Grubbers, rebounds. Now, was it played at? It's still the last tackle. No 6 more from the ref. Osborne puts the kick ahead. Back goes McIndoe. He'll race it out of there. Oh, Willie, Deeth can't get hold of him. McIndoe gives a pass to Wishart, and they make a few more metres. Still going is Rod Wishart. Finally scragged to ground by David Boyle. This is great football.
Oh, it's outstanding football, and it's tremendous. It's not by sheer luck that the Illawarra Steelers have got the best defensive record in the premiership at the moment. That is just first-class defence, nothing more than that. Illawarra going great guns in defence.
Illawarra leading 6 points to 2. 21 minutes of play gone, and Rodwell's almost away. Gets it to Pinchinelli. He looks quickly for his winger, but he finds Fritz instead. Skiffaliti over halfway. Crosses inside. He can run. Belcher takes him. Can't knock him over the touchline. 30 metres out. One end to the other. Simon Riolo.
They've got the numbers
Russell
here.
in centre field now. Inside goes Rodwell. Dummies to McGregor, fooled everyone. Now it's Wishart. Wishart steps into space. Riolo 10 metres out. On it goes to Simon. Great football from Illawarra. Tremendous stuff. They're 5 metres out. They've got one tackle to go. Riolo races up to dummy half. Back it goes to Russell. It's on the last tackle. They've got to do something. Russell flicks a miracle ball to Rodwell. What a try.
What a ball.
From one end of the field to the other, and what a pass from Ian Russell. Sheer genius and great anticipation from Brett Rodwell to score his second try. Illawarra lead by 10 points to 2. And at one moment it was Canberra attacking. All of a sudden it goes right to the other end of the field, and this is where it started. Brett Rodwell got it to Pinchinelli, threw a long ball out. Fritz was standing there. McIndoe had gone infield. They keep it alive. Cross, beautiful hands, good positional play from both men. Canberra's defence pedalling backwards, always stretched. Couple of long passes. Now look at this play from Ian Russell here. It wasn't just the final pass. Look at this deceptive play. Wishart catches them all on the wrong foot. Infield is Riolo. Simon backing up. They nearly ran out of a dummy half here. Wishart went to the wing and nobody else went up at first. Riolo had to sprint up there. Gets there just in time, but here comes the money ball. Look at this one from Ian Russell. How did he do it? And Brett Rodwell there to finish.
Well, that is just a fantastic try. Here it is again. Russell makes this try with the lead-up work and also with this miraculous ball. Oh, it's just a sensational football pass. That.
There wasn't a suggestion of a trip there, was there? In the last
It's a sign of a champion side, Warren, when a side can be defending for up to 12 tackles on their line and then come away in the next set of 6 and score a 4-pointer. That is a sign of a true champion side. And here this afternoon, the Steelers know how important it is here to them. Great football all over.
In so many ways, Illawarra playing to stay alive in the semi-final race. And Wishart goes close and close enough. He stretches the lead. It's 12 points to 2 after 24 minutes.
Well, Ian Russell knows Bobby Linder will be back from test duty next week. So he said, Graham Murray, have a look at this. Is this enough to keep me in first grade? What a ball. And Rodwell beating the defence over the line, his second meat pie of the game. Ian Russell, terrible hamstring injury, and to get fit, he actually got a job as a brickies labourer. So carrying all those bricks and muds paid off for the big fella.
Canberra forced to restart play again. And while they really threw themselves at the Illawarra line a couple of times, they weren't able to score a try. Illawarra making the most of their opportunities in a big way. Now Walsh.
Bad news for Illawarra, Warren. Paul McGregor has been replaced with a bad ankle injury. He won't be back for the rest of the game. A terrible blow to the Steelers. His position taken by number 40, Grant Izzard.
So the music blaring here for the green machine, and Skiffalini goes straight up the middle.
The Steelers making easy yardage. They've made nearly 70 yards in the first 5 tackles. In 4 tackles, I mean, that's criminal.
Russell pops it wide to Riolo up in the line. And Izzard is inside. 30 metres out, that last tackle now. Cross on the blind side, and he controls the play well. Just firing it for the line. Didn't worry about too much distance. Realises his team's on top, and they are dominating. John Cross is a very skillful footballer in all aspects, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly is. The Steelers finding everything at the moment. When you're hot, you really are hot, and the Steelers are an outstanding football side from number 1 right through to the hooker.
Canberra ball, and it's Nadruku. Back inside their own quarter. Stone. Deeth gets it to Osborne. We talked about Ricky Stewart and Gary Belcher as being the most experienced players on the field, but Paul Osborne, he has to lead the forwards. Former St George player, he's been around for a while. And Boyle breaking tackles and stepping away, but they've eventually drawn the penalty, and the referee looked to be playing the advantage. They must have been up inside the 10.
Yeah, good refereeing there by Eddie Ward. He allowed the play to go on. Once there was no sign of any more movement, he obviously gave the penalty to Canberra.
I think what he did was he called John Cross out of the play and said, don't get involved, and John Cross went up and made the tackle. So as soon as he touched the attacking play, it was penalty time.
From the tap, it's Osman. Canberra have made plenty of ground. They've had their chances in Illawarra's half. Now Hetherington, he's a big, strong lad. And Ricky Stewart's off the field.
Yeah, he's replaced by Trevor Shadell, who scored a tremendous game, scored a tremendous try in reserve grade. We'll just try and find out what's wrong with Ricky. It must be something serious for him to be replaced.
Stone to Shadell. He's a very nippy player. Played with Cronulla last year, but couldn't crack first grade. Lowry. Well, they're not lacking anything in heart, Canberra. Stone is first off the ruck with Stewart off the field. He switches to the blind. Belcher called for it. Puts the kick ahead. Racing through is Boyle. Boyle and Riolo. Close. In-goal judge will tell the story. It's a try. A try to the Raiders. Beautiful kick by Gary Belcher. He called for the ball on the blind side. Stone obliged with the pass. I don't know what Belcher was intending at first, but then he hooked the kick back. And chasing through, David Boyle wins a very tight race here. Riolo initially was in front. Did he get it down? Well, his hand might have just grazed it. In-goal judge had a good view of it.
It deserved a try. A great option here. They switched the play over the other side. Gary Belcher seen the opportunity, wrong foots, kicks it back inside. And it's a great race here. It's a toss of a coin whether he gets it down.
Geez, I tell you what, there's the tally-ho in it.
In fact, it's Jason Croker who scored, not David Boyle. Croker, the 5'8". And the question is, did Croker exert downward pressure? Well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, the referee and the in-goal judge had a pretty good view.
The in-goal judge is only half a metre away from where he scored the actual try, so great credit to the Canberra Raiders fighting back.
David Ferner, not far off centre field. He should be able to land this one. And the flags are up. Canberra edge within 4 points. 10 minutes till half-time. Illawarra leading 12 points to 10.
Well, Gary Belcher taking the responsibility here. Ricky Stewart off the field. A beautiful little grubber kick to change direction, which Canberra have sort of been the ingenuity part in that play. And I don't know about that try. I think that in-goal touch, that might be a Raiders supporter.
What are you trying to say, Peter?
Well, I think it was touch and go.
Just confirming that score, it's 12 points to 8 in favour of Illawarra.
By the way, Warren, some news on Ricky Stewart. He's actually hurt his hip. He's in getting some treatment at the moment, and hopefully for the Canberra Raiders, he'll be back on the field. But at this stage, it looks pretty serious.
Well, that's a mortal blow to the Raiders. Their chief organiser played so well in the State of Origin series and narrowly lost the battle for the halfback spot for the green and gold to Alan Langer.
Tell you what, he's a tough character, Ricky Stewart, and he's probably in there getting some needles. Remembering a couple of years ago, he actually played 4 or 5 or 6 games with needles in his groin. So if he can possibly get back on the field, I'm sure he will.
He's gone to the touchline, so he might try and survive till half-time. Just watching and letting it try and settle down. Mullins with a good chase on Riolo. Rodwell. Russell. Izzard. Solid defence.
Good defence there from the Canberra Raiders.
Boyle and Croker up on him. Another tackle from Croker. Walsh. Skiffaliti skirts the blind side. Still going is Skiffaliti. Croker dived from behind. Cross was backing up. Skiffaliti still goes to the blind side. Simon, very narrow angle, and he still managed to pick up 30 metres. Very good kick.
Yeah, very interesting, Warren. The Illawarra Steelers seem to be attacking. Here comes Ricky Stewart back on the field. Seem to be attacking the short blind side all the time. It's that far left-hand side of the field. They seem to be just attacking that left-hand side. Whether they've done their homework and they think that's the weakness in the Canberra side. But they just do seem to be utilising that short blind side.
It's pretty hard to do your homework. The Canberra Raiders side sort of is only a skeleton of their actual team.
Ricky Stewart back on the field. Trevor Shadell will walk around to the bench once more. Well, you would suspect that Ricky Stewart did have a painkiller, because he just sat on the edge for a couple of moments and he's back on the field. If it's a hip injury, He seems to be moving fairly freely. Furner takes on Pinchinelli. 12 short of halfway. Osman. Hetherington. Oh, very lucky to get that one back. It was an extremely hopeful offload. Dived on by Stone. Stewart chased by Skiffaletti and knocked over eventually as well. Simon got to him. McIndoe runs into Croker and Boyle. The two lookalikes working together in defence. Riolo up to halfway. Russell wants it on the blind. He gets the short pass. Back inside to Simon. Neat football. Probing away. Goldspink. Illawarra making very few mistakes with the ball. Pinchinelli. Fritz. Rodwell inside. Stewart went low. Over the top came the front rowers. They're 30 metres out. Last tackle now. Simon tries the kick for Wishart. Belcher's there. Wishart's got him and Belcher stays in the field of play.
Great play, Gary Belcher. Showed tremendous strength.
He just planted the feet and dug in. Osborne. Paul Osborne, who's battled to be a regular first-grade prop this season. His 12th hit up already in the game. Stewart. Mullins saw Rodwell coming. Still going, Brett Mullins. He was in trouble. Nagus is away. Rodwell got him. Stewart backs up and he's off. Support inside from Steve Stone. Skiffalety's there. The pass for Belcher. Well taken. And it goes to Stewart. Ricky Stewart stepping. He goes again and Stewart scores a brilliant try. Well, if Ian Russell did brilliantly to set up Illawarra's try, Ricky Stewart has replied with an equally brilliant try. How many tackles did he beat? How many times did he handle? And there was one pass from Gary Belcher, or involving Gary Belcher, when the tackle must have been very nearly completed. But here's Mullins. He does well to stay alive. Stepping, pushing. That pass was desperate because he knew he was going over the touchline. Ken Nagus feeds the pass inside to Stewart. Good ball here to Steve Stone. Now, he keeps it alive. It was desperation football. Was Belcher tackled? No, he wasn't pinned. Ricky Stewart steps. He got away from Grant Izzard. That was the tackle that really should have been made, and dives over for a great try.
Well, you don't see tries come better than this. Ricky Stewart handling the ball 3 times. Here's the first. Beautiful work here. As you said, desperation stakes, throws the ball anywhere, comes up with a great ball here. Ricky Stewart ever backing up. That's a great ball here. Desperation stakes yet again. Ricky Stewart. Belcher never held off his feet. That tackle should have been made there by Izzard, I think, but Stewart very strong and a great opportunist try.
David Furner, 10 metres in from touch. That try really resulted because Mullins nearly went over the touchline. I don't think it was the last tackle, even though they threw it around as if it was. Furner hits it well. It's a good-looking kick, and it's there. So Canberra come roaring back and hit the lead. 14 points to 12.
Here we go, see Mullins over the top into Ken Nagus. He says, anything Noah can do, I can do better. Inside to Ricky. And Ricky keeps alive here, which is important. Gary Belcher does tremendously well. Great alertness here to realise that he wasn't tackled. Back inside to Ricky, and Ricky, nothing was going to stop him getting over that try line. He's an inspirational player, Ricky Stewart, and he's showing it today.
Only 4 minutes till half-time. Canberra have won 5 out of their 6 home games this season. It looked as if they were going to struggle to overcome Illawarra, but they have their heads in front for the first time in the match.
Well, all the tries so far, Warren, have been absolutely outstanding tries, haven't they?
Oh, spectacular.
The beauties.
Steve Stone. Osborne. He busts the tackle of Fritz. Paul Osborne downfield. Inside is Nagus. Great cover from John Simon, though. Well, the defence is opening up, but it's a superb attack. The referee allows play on. It's the last tackle. Stewart fires it wide. Away goes Croker. Croker's through. Croker sprinting for the line. Skiffoli can't get him. Well, unbelievable football from Canberra in the last 5 minutes of play. 2 tries in the space of a couple of minutes. And it was all started by Paul Osborne, who broke a tackle by Dale Fritz. Here it is now. A tackle, a regulation tackle. He couldn't hold a big front rower. Nagus positions himself well. Good football by John Simon to cut it off at that point. But then they threw it wide. And Stewart, with one of his trademark passes, flings it wide. Boyle did beautifully here, or Croker I should say. Croker cuts through. Cross maybe should have made that tackle, but he thought he was going to throw the pass.
Here we see the big man, very big and strong. Osborne breaking a one-on-one tackle here. Surprises everybody with his speed. Great position here by Kenny Nagus. Now here's the money ball here. Quick play of the ball. The Illawarra Steelers never on side, never able to set their defence.
Good work by the ref to allow play on there too.
Play the advantage. Ricky Stewart with his long ball, always cutting out 2 or 3 players, and there it is. Just the speed over the line. There was no one going to catch him. That was a great Canberra Raiders try. Geez, the Raiders come home strong.
Well, they've finished this first half on fire. Like a tornado.
Well, we knew it was going to be a good game, and geez, they haven't let us down the first 40.
Now, Furner has managed 3 out of 3, including a couple of fairly difficult ones, but this is an awkward one. Only 5 metres in from touch. He's brought it back 23 metres. Not much wind to worry about. It looks good off the boot. Is it going all the way? It is. Creeps over the bar. And Illawarra must be stunned. They're down 20 points to 12 after dominating most of the first half.
Well, the green machine, here they go. Great play the ball by Kenny Nagus. Ricky, a 30-metre pass, and Jason Croker showing why he was in the State of Origin team this year. John Cross coming out with a bad miss. Usually a winger, he had too much pace for the cover defence. The green machine are coming home. Canberra
Put a big win on the board last year here at Bruce Stadium over Illawarra, 38-2. They're really on a roll at the moment as they get another penalty.
42 seconds left, Warren. It'll be interesting to see what they do here, whether they close up shop or they try and put up a high ball just before half-time.
Not for the first time. Illawarra holding on in the tackle far too long.
Yeah, I think Graham Murray will be very upset with the undisciplined penalties. They've given away so much in this first half. The Raiders crowd here really getting behind their home side.
As I said earlier, Benny, you really felt as if the crowd feel as if they've got a responsibility here today to help out this depleted team.
Yeah, they sure love their football down here, and they stick very close to the Canberra Raiders down here. We've seen a lot of people turn out on a beautiful day down here.
Furner running off Hetherington, still alive. Quick balls on, Mullins leaves it behind. The referee will play the knock on, but that is half-time. So an enthralling first half of football.
Yeah, terrific football.
Canberra scoring 3 tries to 2 to come from behind in a whirlwind finish. What a second half coming your way. Canberra leading 20-12.